Trying to.
Welcome, we're keeping this. Hello. Welcome to another episode. Nothing Zilch Nada. No, we are not armchair experts, like I tried to say we were. Uh,
I don't know. Hey, I got my armchair.
well, I got
So,
I got an armchair too. That's a completely different show with a better looking host.
is it Professor X?
No, it's Dax Shepard, the guy who married Kristen Bell.
Mm,
He also was in a lot of really fun comedies in the early 2000s.
nice.
Yeah. So anyway, but this is not that. This is Nothing Zilch Nada. We're your hosts, Xavier Dean,
And Jacob Green.
and we're going to continue our last week's discussion on ranking the Pokemon. I've got the tier list up, and we'll be ready shortly. But first, a quick little PSA for recent events.
Yes. So, given lieu of like recent events that happened during the past week, um, not to address like what exact events are taking place, it's covered by millions of different people. But we just wanted to say that like we understand that things have been kind of messed up for people all around, and we just wanted to say that like, you know, if you're ever trying to look for a safe spot, this is the podcast for it. And I'm sure other podcasts, have their own safe spots, but like for us, we try to make sure we don't cover that much in terms of political, religious, or any discussions that might be controversial. So, um, but we wanna put it out there that like, if you're looking for a safe spot, some type of brief escape from life, we're one of those podcasts that tries to aim for that. So
Hmm.
that being said, everybody stay safe out there and try to live the best life that you can.
Yep, I completely agree. And a lot of events have happened this past week. So I don't want anyone thinking that we're talking about one specific event. There have been so many things going on this week, and we just want to say we're here.
Mhm.
We're not going to
Mhm.
talk about those events, but we are going to make sure that you, at the very least, laugh or smile. Speaking of smiling, also before we continue our tier list, Jake,
Mhm.
we got one more international subscriber this past week.
Who is he from? Or he or she? I don't know.
Giza, Egypt.
Ah,
Yep, I was just going through our Spotify and it said we had a new follower. And I went to look and I noticed Giza, Egypt.
uh,
So
by the way, because I don't have Spotify, what is our follower count for that?
our follower count, if I can quickly hop off of that, what was that? Our follower account is at 12.
Okay, so about the same as our current subscriber on our channel right now.
I think our
For
YouTube
YouTube.
one's in the 20s. Let me
Oh,
double check
okay.
that. I
I thought it was 12. I could be
Oh no,
wrong.
it is 12.
Yeah,
I thought we had
yeah,
more. All
yeah.
right.
But
So,
anyways, yeah. So th thank you for whoever is in Egypt for giving us the follow. We appreciate it.
yep, we've got Egypt and we've got Australia.
Yeah, the subscriber for Australia too.
Yep. Yeah, don't think we forgot about you. And of course, our multitude of US listeners, including my grandparents and my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and other members of my family, aunt, cousin, uncle, sister, sometimes. All right, but with that, I'm gonna press screen share. This is
Mm-hmm.
going to be a longer episode.
Yeah, hopefully not too much longer, but we're probably gonna have to.
Yeah, well,
edit between transitions and whatnot.
yes, we will. Okay. I'd like to. Where? There. Okay. Well, I'd like to switch tabs, but unfortunately, I am facing technical difficulties. There we go.
Oh wow.
All right. And here we go. Okay,
Okay.
back to this.
Alrighty.
Where we left off, we went through I think, was it the Polyworlds?
Yeah, I think it was the polyworld line where we were well, polygraph line where we stopped at. But we actually have a good starting point because we get to probably some of my favorite evolutionary lines in Gen 1, which
Uh,
is the Abra line.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I think in terms of a design and detail standpoint, these are probably some of the best design Pokemon in Gen 1,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Yes,
So Abra, I'm thinking a B for Abra.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, I like the fact that its eyes are closed. It's also one of the most annoying Pokemon to catch early
Yes,
on
yes, it
because
is.
you're at a point where like you randomly encounter an Abra and you probably don't have like Great Balls or Ultra Balls yet. Um, and if you try to damage it, you either uh you accidentally fainted because its physical defense is not very good, or it just randomly teleports on you because teleport's the only move that it learns early on. But
Mhm,
besides that, I like the design. I like the fact that it's just kind of sleeping when it's meditating.
mhm.
Yeah. Dabra. Um, I think Kadabra is a pretty cool design. I'm thinking like A tier
I will
for
agree
Abra.
with you.
Kadabra.
If I,
Also, I just love the name choice. Like,
mhm. Yes, that I know we were talking about how cool the Ekans and Arbok line was, but for me, Abracadabra Alakazam is a better name choice.
yeah, and these are at the time they were some of the strongest psychic types if you didn't include like Mew and Mewtwo. Which like the psychic type in Gen 1 and even in some following generations, it's still one of the strongest types out there. But Gen 1 it was like busted. Um, I think the choice of the spoon is interesting. Um, and then speaking of spoons, Alakazam. I
Mhm.
think Alakazam. I'm thinking either A or S for Alakazam.
I will say Alakazam is S. And
Mm-hmm.
here's what I'm gonna say about the whole Abra line.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way we rank them
Mm-hmm.
perfectly correlates with the number of spoons they have. Abra, B tier, no spoons. We're fine with this because the basic design is cool anyway. Alakazam, pretty cool design, but now has one spoon.
It's Kadabra. Kadabra has one
Kadabra,
spoon.
that's what I meant. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Abra and Kadabra. Kadabra's got one spoon, A tier. Alakazam now has two spoons.
Mm-hmm.
It's double the ice cream eating potential. S tier.
Yeah. I will say, taking a look at the designs because I'm just like taking note of this because like there's some people that prefer Kadabra over Alakazam, and I kind of find the reason why is because it has a little bit more markings than Alakazam because like it has the star pattern on its forehead and some markings on its tail. The one thing that's always bothered me about Kadabra though is why is its tail so big? I know it's part of Abra's, but Abra's I felt like was a pretty good size. This one looks a little bit too big, but it loses that in place of Alakazam, which Alakazam is probably one of the most complete designs in Gen 1. Hence why I think it deserves S tier. And plus it's a very strong Pokemon. You know, if you were able to trade, because like this is a trade evolution, or one of many trade evolutions in Gen 1. If you were able to trade your Kadabra and make it evolve to like Alakazam, and then your friend sends it back to you, you know, you have a pretty strong Pokemon in your hands right there.
I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of trade evolutions, we got another one, the Machop line.
Yep. All right.
So,
What's
so
that?
what do you think of Machop? Because I think Machop I think deserves like a B.
I would agree with B. I feel like Machop could have had a little more to the design, I will say B because it's still a pretty cool design. I like the little lines on the head.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think it deserves to be in the same tier as Blastoise.
Yeah, or any of the other Pokemon. And
Hmm.
especially since it gets better with its evolutions, because we got Machoke, you know. I think of it in terms of like a bodybuilder, although we'll get to that in a sec. But like Machoke though, you know, you can see that like Machop has been hitting up in the gym, you know, gets turns into Machoke where you got beefier arms. You can even see that it has like these line patterns on the arms. I like the inclusion of the belt too. Like like this is like the original wrestling Pokemon.
Yes. I I'm torn because on the one hand, I think it's got a cool enough design where it could go to S tier.
I don't think it's S tier personally.
That was the other thing. I think it's cool enough, but I don't think it is S tier.
Yeah. Are you
It's
thinking
definitely A tier though. I'd
yeah,
say that.
I think A tier is fair to give it. Um and then let's see, Machamp though.
Okay,
So
hold on. Before we say anything,
mhm.
immediate D tier because it's not red.
Is McChamp shiny red?
No, Machamp's Chinese green.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep, but you can't have a creature with 4 arms and not have it be red.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if it actually did get a red shiny. You
Well,
know, then
if that were the case, then Ben 10's 4 arms wouldn't have been red.
yeah, but like Pokemon was out before Ben 10 because Ben 10 wouldn't have premiered until like I think it was like 2005, 2006. I
Right.
can't remember.
What I'm saying is, if Machamp was red, even if it was a shining form, men, I think it's Man of Action that made Ben 10. They probably
Yes.
wouldn't have made 4 arms red. They probably would have made him a different color to differentiate him from Machamp.
Okay. So
No, but
McChamp, here's my argument with McChamp though, is that they could have done the obvious thing of like, oh, it's Machoke and it's bigger and it's got beefier arms. I think they made the right choice in giving it 4 arms though.
yeah,
Like,
all jokes aside, this is a pretty cool looking Pokemon.
mhm.
It's one that keeps me up at night because I don't know how the arms would move. Because you got one set of arms up top, one set of arms at the bottom.
Yeah, but that goes for any the design creature that has like more than two ligaments, you know.
Hmm.
Because like you could say the same thing about forearms. It's just like how do you keep track of all those arms? And it's different for Ben 10 because like you absorb like all the DNA of the aliens
Hmm.
in some aspect. But I think Machamp deserves an A.
I kind of want to say he deserves an S tier.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Mhm. I mean, he loses the frills on the arms, but Hold on.
Yeah, but again, like much in the case of like Polygraph or Alakazam, it has enough changes where it feels like the lines connect to one another because sometimes I like drastic evolutionary changes and sometimes I don't.
Hmm.
It just kind of depends on what line we're talking about.
Right.
But in this case, this is one of those ones where like the whole line just really evolves one another. Okay. Uh the Bellsprout line though. Um Bellsprout's
Smash.
interesting. Bellsprout's like a funny little guy, you
Smash.
know.
Sorry, you gotta look at the
Yeah.
mouth there.
I don't know if you're familiar with the anime episode where like Ash is challenging the Pokemon League and he's battling a trader with this like super freaking strong like Bellsprout.
I don't think I remember that, but I vaguely remember someone from Team Rocket owning one of them,
Mhm.
and every time it comes out of the Pokeball, its mouth is on his head. I think it was
Oh yeah.
I think it was James who had the Bellsprout.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, James did have a victory bell.
Victory Bell. That's
He caught it as a weeping bell, comes as a victory bell. It was like one of those gags in the anime. Um,
hmm
but what was it though? Oh yeah, in Gen 2, one of the places that you can visit is a tower dedicated to Bellsprout, and you could catch nothing but Bellsprouts over there.
hmm Yeah. All right.
So Bellsprout though, I think Bellsprout gets beat.
I will agree with that. It's a simple design, but it's a cute simple design.
Yeah, it's
It's like
it's
if you were to look at Caterpie.
mhm. Yeah.
I will agree with B tier.
Yeah. What about Weeping Bell though? Like again,
So
Weeping Bell's a little goofy little guy, you know.
so I want to
Um,
see B tier for Weeping Bell as well.
yeah, I think so too.
My only here's my thought.
Hmm.
It's a good enough change. I like how, the stem sort of shrinks a bit, but
Hmm.
now the leaves have switched spots, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the deal is with the eyes. We
Yeah,
go from
it's kind of
these,
weird, but like
we go from
Bellsprout,
these cute little dots to these like, big wide eyes.
he's surprised of his evolutionary change.
And he's like, "What the heck? Why do I
Hmm.
look like this?"
Yeah. Yeah, but I think B for Weeping Bell makes sense, you know.
All right.
Now Victory Bell though, I think Victory Bell gets an A because like the
Yes.
way that this line evolves into like a Venus flytrap type of deal,
Mm.
like I just think it's awesome. Um,
Yep.
and also because of that gag in the anime with James, where like every time Victory Bell will come out of his ball, it tries to eat James.
hmm
A few of the grass types that he owned tried to do that. Well, some of his Pokemon in general tried to do that. But
Right.
yeah, pretty solid line overall, very
hmm
solid. All right, Tentacool and Tentacruel. Um,
Uh, okay. Hear me out with this.
okay.
Tentacruel. Nice basic design. I like the blue and I like the red. I feel like he needs at least two more tentacles on him. But I would be fine putting him either at B tier or A tier.
Uh, so Tentacool though, like Tentacool, just
hmm
the basic design, I think gets a B.
Okay. I'm fine with
And Tentacruel, I'm fine with either A or B.
See, Tentacruel, I want to go with A because I think the design's better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel like the major drawback is eye placement. Because if you look at Tentacool, the eyes are on top of the, uh, you know, on top of the Pokemon. or the
Mhm.
Pokemon thing, and now that sort of shifted into a hat.
Yeah.
Uh,
I kind of like it though, because like, this is a water poison type, and Gen 1 is known for like just a whole bunch of poison types in general. But this gives it like a very mischievous look where it's just like, oh, this is a water type Pokemon you really don't want to mess with,
that's
you
fair.
know?
So, do we want to
So
put A tier or B tier?
I'm fine with A. I
Okay.
I think I think it's kind of similar to like Bell, where it's just like it's a very complete design.
Hmm.
Um, okay, the Geodude line though. Geodude, are you thinking A or B for Geodude?
I'm thinking A. I think it's really cool how Geodude is a floating rock with arms.
Yeah, I like it too. It's weird that like when they introduce abilities in Gen 3 that it doesn't get levitate.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess it makes sense considering, the two stages it evolves from afterwards. But like, yeah, floating rock with arms, pretty cool concept.
Hmm.
Uh, Graveler and Golem though.
Okay.
A.
I want to go so far as to say that Graveler is S tier. Reason being is it is an obvious, or it's obvious what Pokemon it's evolving from.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you compiled more rocks together
Mm-hmm.
than just like normal rocks. And Graveler looks like he's got four arms.
Yeah, he does have four arms. Um,
So I think that's pretty cool. I feel like, you should go to S tier.
I don't know how I feel about S tier. I'd be fine with giving him A tier.
Okay, we can do A tier.
Yeah. And then Golem.
All right, you want
Golem,
my problem with Golem?
he loses the forearms.
You want to know my second problem with Golem?
Um, too drastic of a change.
Yes, because we go from rock with arms, rock with four arms, turtle looking thing with rocks around it.
He kind of does look like a turtle. In fact, he kind of reminds me of one of the power-ups from Mario Galaxy 2, the
Hmm.
boulder mushroom, where you literally roll into a boulder. Um,
Right. But no, but like I said, it's you go from rock to creature inside a bunch of rocks. And I know
I still think it's kind of a cool design.
it's a
Uh,
cool design, but it's too drastic of a change for me to keep it on the A tier list.
okay. Uh, so you're thinking B?
I'm thinking B at most. Personally,
I
I'd
think
lean
I think
B, but I'm
I
fine
think
with
B,
playing B.
I think B is fair. B for Boulder.
The boulder is confused. Man, we're just having to
Boulder.
all of our early morning cartoons, aren't we? We hit Ben 10.
And
We've hit we just hit Avatar The Last Airbender.
technically, we could say Pokemon because
Well,
the
technically,
Pokemon anime.
it's obvious it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one of us to make a Generator Rex reference.
Oh man, I miss Generator X.
I do too.
Um, Ponyta and Rapidash. So I like and don't like these designs at the same time.
That's fair.
I I think both of them go in B, if you're okay with that. Because like, here's the thing. I like how Ponyta is cute, and
Hmm.
I like how Rapidash is kind of cool. It has subtle little changes, but it kind of just looks like it got bigger and that's it.
See, this is where I would. That's the reason why I would say maybe Ponytail goes A and then Rapidash goes B.
I'm
Because
fine with that.
what's that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Because I mean, in my head, I think just a horse with fire is one of the coolest things in the world.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Yeah. And I feel like so much more could have been done with Rapidash, and instead it's like, oh well, let's just make them an adult. Bigger
Hmm.
flames. We're done. Move on to the next one.
Yeah, I know we've talked about how like, oh, some of these designs, they have connectivity with each other. Yes, they do, but like they also have more design quirks that make it like their own Pokemon.
Hmm.
And Ponyta and Rapidash don't like really share that for me. They're not a bad line. It's just they're just kind of all right.
Hmm.
Now, Slowpoke and Slowbro, I think they're funny. I like how funny they are.
They're chill dudes.
They are chill dudes. What are you thinking for Slowpoke?
Hmm. So Slowpoke.
I like how it fishes with its tail, because that's kind of how it can evolve into Slowbro. Is that if it
So,
catches a shelter on its tail, then it becomes a Slowbro.
all right. So in my heart,
Hmm.
I want to say A tier because I
I'm
love
fine with that.
them. Okay, well then we're going off of my heart and not what my brain wants to say.
Yeah. I also think it kind of reminds me of Psyduck, maybe because of the eyes, but also because this is the weird thing. Psyduck and Golduck, despite having psychic powers and having psychic type moves, are actually not psychic type. They're just water types. Slowbro and Slowpoke are water and psychic types.
Yep.
So what's up with that?
I don't know.
Like it's similar to like Vulpix and Ninetales, where it's like, why didn't you give the ghost typing to it despite it knowing ghost type moves? And
That,
have
that-
it dex entries about how spooky the Ninetales is.
I mean that's fair. So my reason why I don't put Slowpoke in the same category as Psyduck
Mhm.
is Psyduck is hurt. He deserves a win.
So
Slowpoke, he doesn't care if he wins. He doesn't care if he loses either, but he doesn't care if he wins.
yeah,
He's all
yeah,
about that chill life. Sitting on
yeah.
a rock, fishing, not having a care in the world.
Yeah, I'm not saying it deserves the same tier as Psyduck, because Psyduck is more of a personality, I guess, but
Hmm.
more interesting traits. But like, I like Slowpoke. I think Slowpoke's funny. Slowbro though, I'm saying either B or A, because the only thing that really changes is the shelter on its tail. I always find the change on the shelter tail to be interesting though.
Hmm. I would
Because
agree with I'll agree with A tier.
okay.
I will agree with the A tier
Hmm.
because I like the idea of I know this is going against the whole Diglett Doug trio thing we were discussing last time, but
Hmm.
I like the idea that this Pokemon's evolution comes from another Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, there are other Pokemon in later generations that have sort of similar concepts like that. We'll get to those when we get to those.
Hmm.
But yeah, Slowpoke and Slowbro, they're chill dudes. I wouldn't mind hanging out with them. All
Yep.
right. Magnemite and Magneton. I think Magnemite is pretty cool,
I think mine's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
can find
A.
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say A tier.
Yeah. Now Magneton, kind of like in the similar situation with Doug Trio, where it's just like it's
Mhm.
just three of them. So
Yeah,
I
but
say either I say either A or B.
I will stick with A tier because I
Okay.
like how like my thing with Doug Trio is
Mhm.
because of the ground, it literally looks like it's just three of them poking up from the ground.
Mhm.
With Magneton, I like how when they connect together, there's like a change, like a drastic like change to how it I would feel it would move.
Mhm.
Because it'd be like, three friends standing next to each other, and then three friends accidentally gluing shoulder to shoulder with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Three friends who are glued together have to move differently than just the uh all right, there's time. Sorry, I got the 10-minute warning for this one and
Yeah,
trying to see where our time is right now. But like I'm saying,
yeah,
it's the difference between like three friends getting glued to each other and three friends just standing there.
yeah. It's kind of strange that like this is the only Gen 1 Pokemon that because like in Gen 2, the next generation, they introduced the Steel and the Dark type. This is the only Gen 1 Pokemon to get the Steel type.
Mhm. I would say
Which I'm not
my
saying it doesn't deserve it because
oh,
it makes sense given the metallic design, but like I kind of wish it was spread out to more Gen 1 Pokemon. Same
so
with the Dark typing, which there's no Gen 1 Pokemon that has the Dark typing if you don't count regional forms.
mhm. So the other thing I want to account for,
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm a nerd and I like magnets.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Magneton's hands,
Mm-hmm.
the the different poles are facing
Mm-hmm.
the op or facing their same. So like
Yeah.
the top one, the top Magna's Magnemite has blue at the bottom. So both of the Magnemites at the bottom have the blue
Yeah.
facing up as a way to keep the magnets separated. And the same with the ones at the bottom. They have the red facing towards each other, so it keeps those separated.
Yeah. That's a cool design for it. Yeah.
Yep.
That seems reasonable for an A tier.
Hmm.
Now, far-fetched.
S tier.
No.
S tier.
Okay. So here's the thing. I've gained more appreciation for Farfetch only because it got its Galarian form and evolution in like Gen 8. Before that though, the only thing it had going for it was that Dex entry about being the last of its kind and carrying its leak because of that. And because of that, I'm willing to give it a C.
No. No, it deserves
Yes.
more. If you look at the designs for all the different birds, this one is, in my opinion, a more iconic design out of all of the bird Pokemon. Like you can look at all the other birds and you're like, oh, is it, Pidgey? Is it Sparrow? Is it Fletchender? With Farfetch'd,
Mhm.
it has such a unique design compared to all the others. Because it's not just a bird. It's a bird with a leak. And it fights with the leak. And you look at
Okay.
the face, and the face has more detail in it. It does not deserve to be that low.
Okay.
I'd be fine with putting A tier at minimum.
Okay. Fine. I'm okay with A tier. Um, but only because I really don't care about Farfetch'd in
You should.
that much. It's all it. So here's the thing. One of my big sticks when it comes to like catching Pokemon is that like there are some that are rare, and in Gen 1, Farfetch is one of those Pokemon that's kind of rare to catch.
Hmm.
But it's such a waste because it's not a very good one to use. And I wish they stopped doing that because this isn't the last time they would do something like that where it's like, oh, we made this not so good Pokemon super rare. It's just like, why? Like,
Because it's the last of its kind. You literally just said that.
actually, yeah, you know what? Fair point. I guess I just really don't care about Farfetch. Bird Pokemon I do care about though is Doduo and Dotrio.
Okay. I'm fine with putting both of them on A tier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I
Yeah.
like how, like, again, simple design, cute design, but you've got the two heads. And in my mind, the two heads are pretty cool. And then for Dude Trio, you've got enough change. It's not like a change that doesn't make sense. It's actually a pretty cool change. Now it's got a tail. Now it's got a third head. Now it's got these little like feathers on top of the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this is where I'm fine with A tier for both of them.
All right.
All right. Before we continue,
Mhm.
looking at how much time we have left in this meeting, we may have to stop this one and start another one back up.
That's fine.
So, viewers, we will see you momentarily. Am I not allowed to stop the video while it's in share? Oh, wait, hold on. There. All right, and we're back. So now let's go with, is it Seal and Dugong?
Yeah. I have very I don't like them. I'm sorry.
I agree. Personality wise, I like them because they're just
Yeah,
in a
those
similar way that of Slowpoke, they're chill. They're a little silly, but they're chill.
yeah. And I mean,
Design wise, though,
yeah. And also like the name Seal, like come on.
you're gonna criticize
Uh,
that.
Yes, I am. Um I'm willing to give them C tier for both of them.
That was what I was thinking. C tier would be best.
Yeah.
Again, it's
I like Dugong a little bit, but not by much. Like in a generation where like we got a whole bunch of water type Pokemon, you're better off choosing like other ones like Tentacruel and Poliwrath.
hmm
Yeah. Grimer and Muck. Okay.
just
So
don't follow the Ekans rule for these two, at least for the evolution.
yeah. Yes. Um so this is again much like in the case of Ponyta and Rapidash or like some of the other ones. This is one of those cases where it's just like the evolution is bigger and more.
Hmm.
I like Muck a little bit more just because of like, it looks like it's got a fun personality with like its little design features. What are you thinking?
So, as a movie nerd, I'm looking at this in the sense of how the designs would work in like the blob blob type movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a pretty decent evolution considering both Grimer and Muck are pretty much just big blobs. I
Hmm.
like how Grimer is more put together, a little menacing, but still pretty cute, small.
Hmm.
But then with Muck, Muck is showing signs of deterioration over time because
Hmm.
now if you look at Muck, even though Muck got bigger, Muck's also more slouched down, more spaced out,
Hmm.
which I feel is like the perfect way of showing deterioration.
Okay.
I do think the designs need more, and they're Alolan forms.
Are we thinking B for both?
I'm fine with B for both. Like I said,
Yeah.
I feel they need more, and I
Hmm.
feel like they're Alolan forms, even though the Alolan forms are more like color based.
Hmm.
I feel like that those are better designs than
Yeah, and plus they get the dark typing as well. Which
isn't it
I
Dark
think
Poison?
yeah, it is dark poison. Um, but I think it's a pretty cool design, and plus their deck sentries about how they pick up like a Alolan's garbage. I think that's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
They're
They're
good for
helping
the
the environment.
environment.
Yeah,
All right.
Shelter, Shelter and Cloyster. I love these designs. Shelter because of how goofy it is with its tongue sticking out, like. So I'm willing to give Shelter B. because of that.
Mm, yep. Personally, design wise, I feel like Shelter would go A tier. But
Hmm.
I'm fine with B tier for the sole reason that it does not look the same as the Shelter on Slowbro's tail.
Hmm.
That is the
There.
that is the one thing that irks me about both of those Pokemon.
Mhm.
The tail's supposed to be a Shelter. That does not look like a Shelter. There is no way you can tell me that is a Shelter.
I wonder because like the games were created before any type of media was came out because like the games came out in 96 and the anime didn't come out in Japan until like 97, and
Hmm.
we would get all of that during like 1998. So I wonder if like if Slowbro's tail was originally supposed if it was supposed to be a Shelter or was supposed to be some type of Pokemon.
I feel
And
like in one of the next Pokemon games, either if they're planning on keeping it as a Shelter, have it its own Shelter,
yeah.
or making it its own brand new Pokemon.
Actually, in Gen 2 and the prototype versions of Gen 2 where they had some different Pokemon that would never be released, the Shelter that's on Slowbro's tail was its own Pokemon. And it went by a different name.
Why did
But it
they
was
change it?
I don't know. Gen
Because
2 went through a lot of
now it makes the Pokemon make no sense.
yeah. Well, you know what does make sense to me is Cloyster, which I think Cloyster gets an A.
Yep, Cloyster definitely gets an A.
Like it's a water ice type that just looks super menacing. Like
Hmm.
it's got that snarky grin on its face, and plus I love the added spikes too.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
although I find it interesting because some of the earlier sprites of Cloyster actually have the shells like pointed this way rather than this way.
Hmm.
Um, but like either way, I like its design. Now we
Hmm.
get to the only ghost type evolutionary line in Gen 1, the Gengar line.
Hmm.
Um, but it's they hit it strong.
They did hit it strong.
So I'm thinking for all of them, they should be somewhere like between A and S, whether they're together or separate.
All right. Unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ghastly should be S tier. I,
Okay.
you know, that's not the unpopular part.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to that. So Ghastly for me deserves S tier because it's one of those like ghost orbs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're into ghosts, I might be a little into ghosts. But if you're into ghosts, you'll know that one of the big specters that a lot of people will talk about are these glowing ghost orbs. That is
Mm-hmm.
what Ghastly is. I like how not only did it take that, but it took the dark side of it, and now it's got smoke. So
Yeah.
that.
It's cool that it also has the poison typing too.
Hmm. So Ghastly, I'm fine with S tier. I feel like it deserves it.
Mhm.
Haunter, I feel also needs S tier.
I
And
think so.
what's that?
I think so too.
So for me with Haunter, it's well now it's no longer that ghost orb, but it's becoming
Hmm.
more full.
Hmm.
It's becoming more haunting. It's becoming more scary.
Hmm.
You know, you've got the disconnected hands, and like I said, for me, it is a good step up from Ghastly.
Hmm.
So, Haunter deserves the S tier.
Hmm.
Gengar, A at the highest. I would make the argument for B though. I feel like so much more could have been done with Gengar's design. I like the red eyes, but That's pretty much all I feel Gengar has for it. If you look at Ghastly and Haunter, those Pokemon could genuinely scare you.
Mhm.
You look at Gengar, it looks like it wants a hug. I'm sorry, there's nothing scary about wanting a hug. Unless you don't like
Um,
touch.
so I'm fine with Ghastly and Haunter being an S. I would like to give Gengar A because I think it just has a it's to me like for all of them like they're all like snarky little gremlins to me, especially Gengar.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm fine with Gengar and A. Like I said,
I just wish this wasn't the only ghost type that you could get in Gen 1. And like for the first two generations, we barely got any ghost types.
yeah, why can't we get Blue's Raticate?
I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be a
The other thing too is that like Psychic was overpowered in Gen 1, and one of the reasons why, so you know how Psychic is weak to Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a glitch in the game where like during the first generation games, an NPC says that like, oh, Psychic is weak to Bug and Ghost. Well, there was a glitch where Psychic was actually immune to Ghost.
Oh.
So that made the Psychic types even more overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to correct that in Gen 2. So yeah. And it makes it even worse because since they're part poison type, that means they're also weak to Psychic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because back then, ghosts were kind of seen as like little gimmick Pokemon based on like their movesets, because they didn't get overpowered moves back then, like Shadow Ball or um trying to think of the other ones. Just the better ghost type moves, because all they had was like Curse and Lick and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Again, total gimmick Pokemon, but the designs really cool.
Yeah.
Onyx. Onyx. I like it how some people, when they choose Onyx as their Pokemon, they nickname it Dwayne. Dwayne the Onyx.
Right.
Um, but Onyx though, uh, I like the concept of a rock snake. I think it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. I'm thinking either A or B for Onyx.
I'm fine with A for Onyx. I like Onyx's design. I like that little spike on the head.
I just wish it was stronger though, because as it stands, the very first gym you go to is a rock gym. And the only reason Onyx is so tough to beat is just the fact that you're so lower level early on.
Mm-hmm.
But but then like you move up in the game and then you encounter Onyx at certain points again, and it's just not that strong because its defense is so pitiful. Like it has a lower defense stat than Piplup.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I've got two issues with Onyx.
Hmm.
One of which I cannot say until we get to Gen 4. Is it
Okay.
Gen 4 Sinnoh, right?
Are you talking about his evolution?
Yeah,
That's Gen 2. That's
just
Gen 2.
that's Gen 2. Okay, so I can't really talk about that until the next gen. My other problem, I like how it's Rock Snake. I like how it's all put together.
Hmm.
I would be I would like to see more detail with the rocks. I'd like to
Yeah.
see maybe a little more weathering on him. I'd like to see a few gems on Onyx, if I'm gonna be honest.
You ever seen that anime episode on the Crystal Onyx?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Drowsy and Hypno. So Drowsy kind of weirds me out, I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Like, I have a different opinion on Hypno, but Drowsy, I honestly think it gets a C.
I'm fine with C. I'm fine with
It's
C.
mainly just the bottom part. Like, why is it brown?
It's pants.
Uh, uh,
It
uh,
doesn't want to expose itself to the world.
how many Pokemon in this generation were wearing pants, huh?
One,
Anyways,
two. Do we count shells? count shells, there's another
Oh,
four.
come on. Come
So
on.
that's six. You can
Anyways,
keep going. I'm still counting the pants.
yeah,
Hold on.
drowsy is it just kind of weirds me out a little bit. Hypno though. I really like Hypno. The addition of a what do you call the thing? The pendulum back and forth that it holds. Where it's like, oh, because like it's a sleeping Pokemon, hence the names, Drowsy and Hypno, they hypnotize you so that way you could be put to sleep. Um, but not Drowsy, Hypno, I'm fine with either B or A because I think the design overall is just a little bit more appealing.
Okay. So first, I
Hmm.
would agree with B. I feel like a
Hmm.
lot more could have been done with the design.
Yeah.
I feel like the reduction of the nose kind of kind of gets it for me. But I do
Hmm.
love the pendulum. So I would agree with B tier. Also, if
Hmm.
you're counting shells, there are six pairs of pants. There's also two dresses, or at least one dress and then one what looks like a skirt.
Okay, I guess that is fair. Um, the crabs, Krabby and Kingler.
Okay, here's how I want to phrase this.
Okay.
Krabby is D tier. Kingler is B tier.
I am fine with that
Cool.
because as it stands, again, similar to Seal, like, and some of the other Pokemon, like it's just a crab. And like we would get later crustacean like Pokemon that are just better designed and way more unique than
Yeah, like
Krabby.
Crab Brawler.
Yeah. Kingler though, like it is a bigger crab, but
Mhm.
I like the fact that it's got the crown horns
Well,
on his head,
it's
hence
got
the
the
name
crown,
Kingler.
and you can tell that the claws got like sure the whole
Big
crab got bigger, but the claws got bigger
big
proportionately.
meaty claws. Big meaty claws.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm fine. Like I think Kingler has a lot more going for it in
Hmm.
design wise. Voltorb and Electrode. So these are the first like Pokeball Pokemon, where it's like in the games you counter. So like there are Pokeball shaped things in the games, but they're not always like different types of Pokeballs. It's stuff like items. Um, but like in Team Rocket hideouts or just hideouts in general, you'll encounter a Pokeball and then it suddenly moves, and then you're in an encounter with an Electrode or a Voltorb.
Hmm.
So hence the Pokeball aspect of their design. Although I feel torn about these designs because on one hand, I see what they're going for, but on the other hand, they're kind of eh.
They basic.
Yeah, I do like their eyes though.
Hmm.
Like Voltorb looks kind of angry and Electro just looks kind of snarky.
Yep. So here's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Voltorb should be at a higher tier because I like the idea of a Pokemon with, that looks like a Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
Electrode. For me, it's literally a Voltorb upside down.
It is. It
There's
is.
like no extra design elements.
Okay, so how about this? A Voltorb, I think should get a B,
Hmm.
and Electrode should get a C.
I'd be down with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
Again,
thing that saves that from D tier is the snarky face.
yeah, I think so too. All right. Execute and Executor. I'm not gonna lie. e- Execute Execute always confuses me as a Pokemon. Not just the fact that like, they look like eggs and like they have different faces and whatnot, which kind of makes it weird. And
Hmm.
also the fact that all of its artwork and sprites and whatnot always has one exposing like its brain, I guess.
Yeah, one's cracked always.
Yeah. Um, but it's dex entries in every game. They always go back and forth between, oh, they're seeds. Oh, wait, they're eggs. Oh, wait, no, they're not eggs. They're seeds. Like, which one is it? So, for those reasons, I want to put it at C, you know.
Now, I want to make a valid argument for execute to at least go to B tier. Because, yes, it's just eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got the one that's cracked. You've, like, fully cracked, cracked open. You've got each one with a different face. Like, it's not just, oh, they're all with the same face. No, they all have different faces. They've all got their own separate looks to them.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
If it didn't have the different faces or personalities, I'd probably be fine. But given the fact that we've already ranked Pokemon around those same tiers that do show different personalities through like their multiple faces, I understand that.
Man, I didn't even
Uh,
get my half a dozen thing.
Executor.
So, you know
Um,
how you had a problem with execute?
mhm.
I've got a problem with executor.
Okay,
'Cause
I'm curious.
to me, execute is eggs. You would not
Mhm,
name it execute and have it look like eggs and have it not be eggs.
mhm.
Executor is a palm tree.
Yeah. I do think it's a way more complete design though.
It is a more
Like
complete design, but the change makes no sense.
that,
You go
yeah,
from eggs to tree.
yeah, and also like if it's supposed to mimic like a traditional palm tree, like a banana tree or a coconut tree, like I I don't get it, but I still want to put it in B tier though.
I'm fine with putting it B tier. And
Because
like I said, the thing that irks
that
me,
as it stands, I prefer Executor over any of the other Pokemon that we have in C and D.
that, yeah, I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Like I said, the only reason I'm fine with it being that low is because as an evolution, it makes no sense. If it were a standalone Pokemon, cool,
Mhm,
makes sense.
mhm.
Palm tree, but it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Cubone and Marowak.
Okay,
So the lore when it comes to Cubone's like skull, I think it's pretty cool. Like I think it's got really sad personality, and also there's the theme with the Gen 1 games when it comes to Cubone losing its mother to Team Rocket. Probably the few instances of we actually get death for Pokemon in a Pokemon game. Uh
I'm
but Q
eradicate.
yeah, but Cubone I say either A or B.
I want to say A, but this is
Okay.
solely because of a headcanon I have about Cubone.
Is it the Charmander thing?
It is the Charmander thing. And
Hmm.
it makes sense if you look at the designs. Like, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to temporarily shift just so that we can actually see them next to each
Okay.
other. Charmander was on B tier. Cubone there. Let me go. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Can do some more.
Okay.
There. If you look at the designs, sure, Cubone's a little beefier, but I like the eyes are different, a little
Hmm.
beefier, but overall, they're the same looking Pokemon.
Hmm.
And then if I were to bring Charizard from S tier down, oh, I can't do that. Hold on. Well, if you look at Charizard's head right here, and you scroll down to Cubone's mother's head, it's a Charizard head. So because of all of that, oh, I don't know what I just did. Oh, I'm all the way at the bottom. Because of all that, I will make, or I will agree with Cubone at A tier.
All right.
All right, now let me just pull all the Pokemon back where they go.
Yeah.
I
What
just
about
want like a clean place where we can look at them side to side.
No, definitely. What about Marowak though? Because
I'm fine with A tier for Marowak as well. I mean, sure, it's just bigger Cubone. The head sort of fuses with the skull. They've got a bigger bone. But in the same way that Cubone is Charmander, Marowak is Charmeleon.
I'm fine with A.
Okay.
I'm fine with A. I think it has enough going for it. I mean,
Yep.
I don't care for it as much as Cubone, but like
Mhm.
I think it's all right.
All right.
The
Now we
Hitmon.
just need one of them to turn into the Cubone version of Charizard in a later game.
Well,
This would be my favorite evolutionary set.
technically speaking, Marowak's got a regional form where it's Ghost and Fire.
Exactly. But I want that extra step. Plus, if we look
Okay.
at Marowak, the skull doesn't make sense for a Marowak. The skull would make sense for a Charizard.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the Hitmons. Now these are not like an evolution connected to each other, but like in Gen 2 it becomes like two of the branch evolutions
Well,
for
yeah,
Tyro.
it's Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
Yeah. I like Hitmonlee a little bit more just because I think it's got a lot going for it. Like the fact that like the legs are just kind of like stretchy springs is really cool.
Hmm.
So I'm fine with A or B.
So I feel like Hitmonlee should go to B tier.
Okay.
Just because
I'm
I
fine with
feel
that.
like I feel like they could have done more.
Hmm.
Especially considering that's the Pokemon based off of Bruce Lee.
Yeah. I like how they had two different fighting aspects for them. You know, Hitmonlee is about kicking and Hitmonchan is about punching.
Hmm.
Speaking of Hitmonchan, I like it a little bit less than Hitmonlee, but I say B tier.
I'm fine with B tier. I like Hitmonchan a little more. In fact, Hitmonchan, when I the one time where I played, I think it was Blue in an emulator.
Hmm.
When we were given the choice between Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, I picked Hitmonchan.
Uh,
No. Plus, Hitmonchan has a skirt
yeah.
and
Um,
boxing gloves.
yeah. I haven't
And
used Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan in the games yet, but I'll probably try them out at some point.
my final thing about Hitmonchan is, or at least compared to Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan has a more detailed design. Hitmonlee is basically a chicken nugget with legs and small arms. Hitmonchan, that's a fighter. That thing's gonna
Hmm.
knock you out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Unless Mike
Lickitung.
Tyson, and then you're gonna knock him out.
Mm. Lickitung.
Smash. Sorry.
Uh, I'm thinking B because like I'm not passionate about it, but I like how goofy it is. And I also just love that long tongue. Do you have a different opinion that you would like to share?
No, no, I'm fine with Lickitung being a B tier, but I'm saying Lickitung is a B tier with a passion. You gotta be
Yeah.
passionate about a tongue like that.
Yeah.
I'd say the one thing I wish, and this is a dumb wish
Mhm,
because it kind of messes with one of my favorite Pokemons from a different generation. But I feel like Lickitung should have had a regional. like a regional design for kids.
Maybe it will. Maybe it will in the future.
It's not gonna, because I wanted it to have a regional form, like, to look like Kiss or a member of the band Kiss.
They do.
Not Lickitung.
Yeah, that is true. I guess we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah. Although I
Um,
do like the Pokemon that actually got that regional form.
mhm. All
Uh,
right. Coughing and wheezing. I like coughing and wheezing. They're just kind of goofy.
mhm. I'd like them at A tier, honestly,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
they're germs, and
Yeah, and they were pretty iconic in the anime too, because they were
Mhm.
like the Team Rocket Pokemon, just like Arbok and Akins.
All right. I just got the 10-minute warning again,
Hmm.
so this is gonna be a long, long episode.
Yeah, well, not too much longer. We're getting close to the end here. All right, Rhyhorn and Rhydon. So Rhyhorn, I say either B or A.
I like Rhyhorn at A because I like
Yeah,
the amount of detail on Rhyhorn. It's a
yeah.
rhino, but it's like I don't know. I like it in the same way that I like the rhino design in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Hmm.
Yes, I know. It doesn't necessarily look like a real rhino or in the movie's case what rhino should look like. But I think it is a cool design and I would love to see more from it. And I'm
Hmm.
so upset that the rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2 only got that little ending. I feel like that
Yeah,
rhino get like deserves its own movie.
yeah,
Well, not its own movie, but like its own like what I mean. It deserves more
yeah,
than just the end.
yeah. I like how it's a Pokemon that you could ride in Kalos because they have Rhyhorn racing over there.
Yep.
Rhydon though. I think Rhydon either deserves A or S, especially since, much like Nidoking, it's a very Kaiju X Pokemon that I've always appreciated.
Okay. You're gonna hate me for this. You know how I was comparing Rhydon to Amazing Spider-Man
Mhm.
2's Rhino?
Yeah.
How I like that design.
Hmm.
This Rhino is like Craven the Hunter's Rhino to me.
Mm.
It ugly.
I
Like,
don't know, man.
oh no, it's
I
ugly.
think I think it's kind of cool.
It's ugly. That plus it loses the bulk that Rhydon had. Like Rhydon, it's got that jagged bulk on the back, and
Yeah, but
Rhyhorn,
it's got the drill horn too, which I think is a pretty nice touch.
the drill horn's cool, but that's it. It's not
Hmm.
even like if Rhydon stood up. It's like the stuff that's on Rhydon his armor, and he's like, screw this, I don't need it. Standing up. Like I I don't know. For me, the design
Can we
doesn't
can we
work.
do can we do A?
I'll be fine with A, but in my head, it is a lower A than Rhydon.
All right. Chansey. Chansey's a good old bee. Chansey is your little nurse Pokemon, wants to take care of you, gives you the soft boils, and plus it's the Pokemon with one of those Pokemon that has the highest HP stat. So you want to
Mhm.
grind some levels, Chansey can take care of that for you.
Yep, I I agree with Chansey.
And it's a good pink Pokemon.
Yep,
Tangela. Tangela is interesting because
he's just a blue spaghetti boy.
yeah, he is. I find it weird how this is kind of inspired by Medusa, though.
It makes sense.
It does make sense, but it's like a goofy Medusa Pokemon because it's got the red shoes and it's got the eyes. Um,
Well, yeah,
I'm fi- I'm fine with B for it.
I want to fight for Tangela to be an A tier.
I'm fine with A.
Okay, I'm just saying it's a different enough design, and there's just something about his design that makes it gives it personality.
Yeah, it is.
All
It
right,
is
I
one
feel like we have enough time for this meeting to do Genghis Khan, and I'll have to start another meeting.
of.
I also think that we have to.
At first, I thought you said Genghis Khan, like the
Nope, Genghis Khan.
yeah, Genghis Khan.
I feel
Genghis
like we can
Khan.
agree on that, though.
Yeah. Okay, so Genghis Khan again, another Kaiju X Pokemon. I
Mhm.
would not put it in S tier though. Um,
Oh, come on.
it's still an A worthy Pokemon because it's the motherly Pokemon and it's got the little baby on the inside of it.
That's why it goes to S tier. Because not
You
only is it
think?
fighting, it is a strong, independent woman.
You
Seriously,
know what? You
it is
know
a
what?
strong, independent woman that is doing what it can to protect its young. It knows what it's like to be a mother.
You know what? You convinced me of an S tier.
What's that?
You convinced me of an S tier. So,
Thank you.
mhm.
Like I said, it is what all mothers should be. It is what your mother is. It is what my mother is. It is what our mothers' is.
Mhm.
That didn't necessarily make sense, but you know what I mean. It is strong. It cares for its youth. No. And of course, the youth is just like, heh, violence. It's fun.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
So I'm gonna have
So,
to end this meeting. We're gonna
mhm.
start one more so we can get through the last, say, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36 Pokemon.
Mhm.
We're making progress here.
Yeah, we're getting to some of the best ones though.
And we're probably getting to some of the hardest decisions.
Yeah.
So just give us a second here. Let me stop. All right, we are back. I really gotta learn how Zoom works with the whole switching things around, but let's get
Yeah.
back into it with Horsey and Seadra.
Okay. So Horsey, it's just a seahorse. It is
Hmm.
kind of cute. I'm thinking either B or C for Horsey.
I'd be fine with Horsey being a C.
Yeah, because as it stands, it's just it's just kind of there.
Hmm.
I will, however, give Seadra either A or B though, because it's got a little bit more going on for it. You know, it's got the pointier wings, it's
Hmm.
got the much more angry expression, like it's about to attack somebody.
Yep. See, Seadra is la da dee la da da. Uh, Kendra is you look at me, fool. You look at me, fool.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the evolution.
Yeah,
That's the Gen 2 evolution.
that is. Oh, well, regardless, this one I will agree with A tier.
Yeah.
He is full eight. You're looking at me, fool. I'm gonna
Mhm.
slap you silly.
Yeah. Goldeen and Sea King. I'm gonna be honest, because like again, I love the water type. It's one of my favorite types, but I have very divisive opinions about Gen 1's water types. I like
Mhm.
most of them for the most part. I do not care for Goldeen and Sea King though. Um, because they're just fish Pokemon, they're just kind of there.
Hmm.
Um,
I'll agree with that.
so for Goldeen, I'm okay with a B, but like I rather just give it C.
I'm fine with giving Goldine a C.
Yeah. And then Seeking, it's C. Like
Yep.
I just don't care for them. Like
I don't know. For me, Sea King is a higher C, but it's still a C.
again, like there's just so many of these freaking water types that they made and like
Well, I
they
mean,
could have they the decks could have been more balanced in terms of like the number of types that it got.
we'll
And they would have this problem in some of the sequential generations.
Yeah.
where it's like you get a whole bunch of water types, and some of them have just absolutely nothing designs, and yet you only get like what, two fire types, two electric types sometimes. I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it, but like,
Hmm.
yeah, Goldie and Sea King though, I do not care for them.
Yeah. Honestly, for me,
Sorry. Yeah.
what's that?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
So for me, like every other Pokemon has a unique spin on what they are. Like Squirtle, it's a squirrel and a turtle. I think that's pretty cool. Well, look at Psyduck.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a duck, but it's a duck with trauma. It
Yeah.
looks awesome. Rapidash. Yes, just a horse, but horse with fire.
Yeah, and even Tentacool and Tentacruel, which are some of the most like common water type Pokemon,
Hmm.
that you see in the water routes, they got something going on with them.
They do have something going on with them. And you can show a picture, like you can make a real life picture of them and show them to someone, and they'll still say, "Oh yeah, that's a Pokemon." Show them a picture of Golding or Sea King in real life, they're fish. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon just made fish.
Yeah.
And I'm
Staryu
not
and
saying that
Star.
they're the only fish like this. There are other fish that they have made with the same problem. So when we
Yes,
get to those, I may make the same argument with them. But
I'm gonna
these
make
are
that same
literally
argument.
just fish. The one saving grace for them is their horn.
That is true, but like, come on, you could have done better. Staryu and Starmie though are designs I really like though.
Hmm.
Um, so Staryu, I'm thinking either A or B for Staryu.
I'm probably going with A for Staryu.
Yeah, I also like the sound that it makes in the anime, like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hiya!" Um, and then Starmie, I think it's an A.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Now,
I like the fact.
Starro, the pre-evolution from space that you only see in the DC comics,
Hmm.
that one's definitely S tier. It mind controls people.
Yeah,
Plus,
but
it's
they're
the
really,
entire center point for the Suicide Squad movie.
yeah. But these are water and psychic types that I could get behind, and also, my brother-in-law, the few battles I've had with him, he had a Pokemon, his own Starmie, nicknamed Star Killer,
Nice.
and yes, it kills.
Mhm.
I lost to many battles with that Starmie.
All
All
right.
right.
So, our artists out there, I need you to make one of those, but with lightsabers and lightning coming out of the hands. Think you can do that for us? Please put it
Make
in the
it a
comments
water,
below. Thank you.
make it a water and fire type. We rarely get that type combo.
I don't know. I'd say water electric because it is also shooting electricity from the hands.
That's fair. Okay, so now we're getting to like the Savari Zone X Pokemon slash these are Pokemon that look like fully evolved forms, but this was before they would get their pre-evolutions or in some cases final evolutions. So
Hmm.
Mr. Mime.
Okay.
Okay, ignoring the fact that like this is the Pokemon in the anime, and there's these theories that like, oh, Mr. Mime is Ash's father, because he spends a lot of time with Ash's mom.
What?
You never heard about that?
No! Like, I was gonna go for the fact that Mr. Mime still talks. What are you talking about with Ash's father?
Because Ash's mom has a Mr. Mime. It was there in the first series of the anime, and it continues to make appearances whenever Ash comes home. Well, I guess because they ended the anime in Gen 8 and now they're more focused on different characters. I guess it's not so much the case anymore. But as it stands, it's a humanoid design and it's a psychic type. The fact that it moves around, it makes its own invisible walls is interesting. Um, I don't know. This is one of those designs where like I kind of feel torn on.
Mhm.
What are you thinking?
So design wise, it's cool. I like the design.
Okay.
I now the two downsides I have to it,
Yeah.
and solely because of its name, that I have
Mhm.
problems with it. Mr. Mime still talks. It will still say Mr. Mime, and
Oh, that's what you mean by that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a mime. It shouldn't be talking. And also, mimes are black and white. There is clearly pink and blue on this thing.
True.
Honestly, this
It
looks
it
more like a clown than an actual mime.
it's weird when it got a regional form in Gen 8 that like it's more ice aspect than
Hmm.
you know, the actual thing it's based off of.
Yeah.
So
Now,
what are you thinking for
the
Mr. Mime?
one saving grace I have for this one,
Mhm.
Detective Pikachu.
You
I
know what? That
absolutely
is a fair
love,
point.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love the Mr. Mime scene in Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. I do think that is a really cool scene.
Yeah.
So
Personally,
mhm.
design wise, I would be fine either B tier or A tier because I do love Mr. Mime's design.
I go with B,
You go B.
honestly.
All right.
Yeah. Beforehand, I probably put in lower tier because it used to creep me out a little bit, but like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an all right Pokemon, you know. I think it's
Um,
deserving of a B. It definitely
I
has a
still
more
think it should have been
detailed.
called something like Mr. Clown, but
Mhm. Yeah. And it does have a much more detailed design than some of the Pokemon that are in C and D. So,
yeah.
yeah. Another Pokemon with a detailed design is Scyther. Now, Scyther, I think should be A or S because um
I agree with us.
this is one of the coolest looking bug types out there. Um cause like it's a bug and flying type. You got the wings. You got the scythes. It's in the name, like Scyther. It also like the Pokemon cry in the anime, like Scyther, like is really cool. Um, there is one thing that bothers me, and this is a problem with the bug types in Gen 1. You know how I was talking about in our last episode, how you know, a lot of bug types don't get bug type moves?
Mm-hmm.
Scyther is one of those. It's a bug type, and yet it can learn a single bug type move. It's also a flying type, and it can't learn fly. Like, what's the point in giving these Pokemon dual typings if you're not going to give them their moves that are going to work super well for those types? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Gen 1 was weird. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of Scyther?
I agree with S tier. I love the fact that it's a giant praying mantis. I love the blades on it. I love the wings. Yeah. And I know we're looking at this and not the future, like the evolutions, but the evolutions to Scyther are also equally as cool. So
Oh
I'm
yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get to those.
hmm
Um, yeah, so Scyther, S tier, really cool. It's a shame that it did not get bug type moves at first. And that's dumb. Jinx. Now, this one is interesting because it used to be a very controversial design. So, like back in the day, the original design for Jinx, particularly its skin color, nowadays it's purple. It used to be black. Um, and that led to people thinking that like this Pokemon was like mimicking blackface. And if you don't know what blackface is, do your research and look it up.
hmm
But people were kind of upset about that. And it was mainly people from outside of Japan. Because of course, Game Freak did not inspire the design off of blackface. It was inspired by a popular Japanese fashion style. I forgot what it's called. Um, but I can also see why it was controversial for people in America because, again, like in the case of Mr. Mime, it's a very human-like Pokemon. So I
hmm
understand the fact that uh, why people did not like it and why they had to change the design.
Yep. So,
So I didn't like this Pokemon at first because of that.
mhm.
But after doing research and even using one in a recent playthrough that I did, I've kind of changed my opinion on Jinx a little bit. It's
Mhm.
not one of my favorites, but I'm willing to give it a B.
I can work with a B. I would go for C normally, but I'm fine with a B. I don't know. Jinx scares me. Just like how
Yeah.
I'm scared of you, Jinx scares me.
Mhm. Yeah, but I've come around to Mr. Mime too. Because,
Hmm.
I think Mr. Mime is just goofy.
Yeah.
And Jinx, it's kind of goofy. I think the psychic and ice type is interesting. Um, yeah. Electabuzz. Electabuzz was kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Um, it's like a gorilla mixed with like you mix it with lightning. Because it's got
Yeah,
that
I
champ.
was going with like an electric Tony the Tiger. Because gorillas don't have tails.
Yeah,
Electric
but
ones do have
it's
tails.
got the big arms though. It's got the big arms, and it's known for
It's
punching stuff.
electric wrath. It is electric.
You know what? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Except it doesn't say "Let me tell you something."
It should.
Um, yeah, but like the buzz, I like the sound that it makes in the anime, where it's just like, like it's like charging up.
Mhm.
So I'm cool with like an A tier for like the buzz.
I would agree.
Like cool
I,
design. I love the yellow and black color. For
I
the electric
could
typing.
I could make an argument with an S tier, but I'm fine with the Electabuzz being an A tier.
Magmar. So Magmar and Electabuzz have always been parallels to each other for me in a way because they both would get pre-evolutions in Gen 2, and then in Gen 4 they would get their two final evolutions, and they both get it in very similar styles where you have to get the two items, the Magmatizer and the Electricizer, in order to evolve them.
Hmm.
Um,
Pokemon Go like I do, you just gotta get a Sinnoh Stone.
yeah. Um, so Magmar, I like in terms of detail, I think it's got really cool detail going for it. I
Hmm.
mean, I love the fire sprouting out on the head and the tail. I like the fire pattern on its body. Again, much like Electabuzz's like the electric patterns.
Hmm.
The proportions are just kind of weird though.
It is.
Especially the head. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever heard people saying that like, oh, Magmar's got a butt on his face. Ah, ha, 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 ha. It kind of
Yeah,
looks
he's a
that way.
butthead.
Yeah, because like he kind of looks kind of sad,
He does look sad.
but I'm willing to give it like a B
I'm fine with the B tier.
because as it stands, it's still very detailed design.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with the B tier.
Mm-hmm. Pinsir again, much like in the case of Scyther. I mean, I like it a little less than Scyther, but I still think it's a very cool, threatening bug type design. The huge pincers are what's selling for me. But again, it is yet another bug type that does not get bug type moves at first.
Hmm.
And yet they're the strongest bug types in the game, but you can't
Hmm.
really use them because they're kind of late in the game and they don't learn bug type moves.
Hmm.
Like, why? I don't understand. But besides that, though, I'm thinking A or B. Yeah, A or B for Pincer.
I want to go. I want to go A tier. I like
Okay.
Pincer's design. I feel
Yeah.
like putting it in a B tier sort of like undermines how the design looks. Like I said, I think Pinsir's a really cool looking Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not
Yeah.
including the Mega Evolution. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh, Tauros, though. So I get a little bit split on this decision every time I think about Tauros. So this was one of those very utilized Pokemon in Gen 1 because much like Pinsir, not Pinsir, Persian, it had a very high speed stat. which tied to like critical rates, so people would choose either Persian or Tauros.
Mhm.
Um, it is a good looking bull Pokemon.
It is a good looking bull Pokemon, but in the same sense of Goldeen and Sea King,
Mhm.
Pokemon just made a bull.
Yeah.
The
The
main
only design
difference is
aspect they have going for it is their tails.
that was what I was gonna say. That's the only big thing they have.
Either B or C for Tauros
I want to
because
put Tauros at C.
okay, I'm
I,
fine with
I
that.
feel like C, because like I said, they pretty much made a bull.
Hmm.
A bull with three tails, and unfortunately, those three tails aren't. There's nothing special about those three tails that makes me say, "Oh, that's really cool. It should be B." For me, it's no, it's a bull with three tails.
Hmm.
It's like how Persians just a cat with a gem on the forehead, or Sea King and Goldeen, or fish with horns on the head,
Hmm.
or seals just an albino seal.
Speaking of fish, hang on, I'm reeling something in. Oh wait, it's another Magikarp.
All right, I'm gonna kick it off.
Hmm.
Well, okay, I'll wait first. Um, so what do you think? Because I feel like we're gonna be split on this one.
Okay, so it is a fish Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
because we were just talking about how like Goldeen and Seaking are not really special in terms of fish design, but I think it's a better looking fish Pokemon than Goldeen and Sea King just because I feel like it just got a little bit more personality in its design. Like it's a kind of this bull red orange color. It's got the dead eyes. I mean it is one of the weakest Pokemon and it only knows splash and tackle and bounce. But in the beginning it just learned splash.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I'm willing to give it a B. There could be some argument for an A.
So I guess we're not too split on that. Like, I wouldn't put it a B tier. I would
Yeah.
like to put it A tier. But
Okay.
this is where this is where you gotta go with like minute details
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, we're right. It's a fish, but it's not just a fish. It's got a hard exterior that, if I remember correctly, is so hard you can't even cut through it, which makes
Yeah.
which makes it one of the few Pokemon you can't actually eat.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fin on the top that kind of makes it look like a crown. It's like, yeah, I know I'm the goat. Just put the crown on me already.
Mm-hmm.
I love the
Yeah.
color pattern. I love the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, sure, it's useless, but it can definitely rock a six pack.
Yeah. Well, it is working on six pack because like
Hmm.
I'm fine with Magikarp in A because
Yeah.
I'm not mean about Magikarp.
No.
It's like
Well, plus
if it
Magikarp needs more love in its life.
yeah, but like here's the thing. If you give it love in its life, because like you don't have to grind too many levels to give it its final form. Which, speaking of which,
All right. Now can I
Gyarados.
kick it off? Now can I kick it? Can I
Yes.
kick it now?
Yes.
Yes. Ah. Yep. Now it has evolved.
Hmm. Yeah. So obvious S tier for
Yes.
Gyarados. This is my favorite water type Pokemon in Gen 1, period.
Hmm.
So I love the Leviathan like serpentine like design for Gyarados. Like I love how it goes to like this pathetic but still good looking fish to oh man, this thing can learn Hyper Beam now. Like
Yeah, it goes from tiny fish to world-ending sea serpent.
yeah, but um I like the fact of how menacing it looks. It's got so much detail in the design and the fins. And the fins kind of mimic Magikarp's fins a little bit. There's just more of them now.
Hmm.
Um, It's
Yeah.
just like it's an absolute chat of a water type Pokemon. There's
Hmm.
only one thing I have against it because similar to Charizard, it knows dragon type moves, and yet it does not get the dragon type.
All right.
It's a water and flying type.
Hmm.
Like
Wait, it's a flying
again,
type?
yes, no, it's a water flying type.
Well, I get the water, but the flying? Really?
It, it, it's not fighting.
The flying, like water
Flying.
flying.
Yes, it is flying, despite it knowing dragon type moves. Again, Dragon in Gen 1 and Gen 2 really needed more. They
Mhm.
really needed more.
Right. All right. So here's my thing with Gyarados.
Mm-hmm.
Because I pretty much spent a good chunk of this tier list
Mm-hmm.
arguing why certain Pokemon with too drastic of a change should be lower than the Pokemon before.
Mm-hmm.
And on the surface, Magikarp and Gyarados is a really big drastic change. But the symbolism behind it
Mm-hmm.
is why I like Gyarados at S tier.
Yeah.
Because again, people look at Magikarp as one of the most useless fish Pokemon. So they will just like, yeah, no, it's the most useless thing. But then, like, when you eventually evolve it into a Gyarados, that is when, people are like, oh, this isn't useless. This is saving it all for the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting a side salad first before your dinner as and you're not someone who likes vegetables. It's like, I don't really like this. And then, the chef personally walks out and delivers you a steak.
Mm-hmm.
It is like you have a birthday dinner and you're like, okay, it's a good birthday dinner, but it's not really like top tier. And then all of a sudden someone walks out with a cake that's on fire. And not like the bad someone burnt the cake. I mean like there's so many candles that it's got the fire design on it. And you're like, this is so cool. You
Mm-hmm.
go from something so underwhelming to, for those of us who are patient, for those of us who are willing to stick it out for this one Pokemon, it becomes a reward.
Yeah, and Magic, and you can find Magikarp in almost every mainline game,
Hmm.
and you don't have to grind too many levels because I think it evolves at like level 20
I think so.
at the
But
most.
that's the other thing. It's such a common fish that the idea of it getting such a powerful evolution seems weird if it weren't for the fact that Magikarp itself is so useless that people would just give up on it.
Mhm.
Which is why I love the idea of Gyarados, even though it's a drastic change, getting S tier.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you for attending my TED Talk. Now let's get back to our normal video.
Yeah. Lapras. I really like Lapras.
I like
Lapras
Lapras.
is Lapras is like one of the most peaceful Pokemon out there, and the fact that it is the transport Pokemon,
Mm.
and you're able to it's able to carry people on its back. Like I say, either B or A for Lapras.
I'm fine with A. I
Mhm.
I feel like putting it at B sells it short. I don't know. I like how, and this is again me into
Mhm.
like cryptids and ghosts and all that. I like how it looks like an actual cryptid.
Yeah, it looks like the Loch Ness monster, but
That's what I was
uses
gonna say, but the Loch Ness monster doesn't have a shell.
no, but it does have the long neck,
It does have a long neck.
and it transports in water.
Yep.
Yeah, a Lapras, pretty cool.
Hmm.
Love to have a Lapras.
Hmm.
Ditto.
All right.
Now, I don't know if you've seen the recent Nintendo Direct
I
that they
did. I didn't watch the full recent Nintendo Direct, but I did see the like Pokemon Animal Crossing thing that Ditto's doing.
yeah. What do you think about that human design for Ditto, by the way?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I was at first weirded out by it, but it does look kind of goofy. It looks kind of silly. So, and it's
It's
the
on
first time.
top.
Yeah, it at least looks better than what it did in like Detective Pikachu. It looked freaky in that movie, where it tried to mimic people. But I guess that was the point of it.
That is perfect.
But yes, the Ditto. So Ditto. So this is one of those cases, and I consider this with some of these Pokemon of like how we take its abilities into consideration rather than its design. Because as it stands, it's just a blob. It's just a pink blob.
Hmm.
But there are two things I say before it. One, the fact that it could transform into any Pokemon, and whatever Pokemon it transforms, it mimics its base stats and its move set.
Hmm.
And then the second thing is the face. Love, like, I don't know if you've seen the anime episode where like the Ditto in that episode was trying to mimic Pokemon and yet it couldn't change its face, so it just had the dead eyes. And what's made it even better is that Pokemon plush merch now has versions of Pokemon that have Ditto's face on it.
Hmm.
So I say A tier for Ditto. Because like you can't really base it off of its base design. Because again, it's just a blob.
Well, this is where I am basing off the blob design. Because yes, normally basing it off the blob design, like trying to base, Muck and Grimer's blob designs, can't really base it off of. But when it comes to Ditto, Ditto's got that unique thing where it's a blob because it can shift into all these different Pokemon. I just got another 10-minute warning. We are like, but it can turn into just like a normal ball, like Voltorb, or it can grow into this giant creature with 4 arms, like Machamp. You know, so because of that, you don't want to give Ditto an overly complicated design. You want to give Ditto something simple, something that can show, hey, it can still mold.
Mhm.
So I would, that's why I would put the design for Ditto into play. And as much as I would like to say that I'm fine with A tier, there's a small part of me that that like wants it to stay in S tier. Again, it's
Would
because
be I would
it's,
be fine giving it S tier actually.
mhm. Like I said, it's just because
It's
of how the ability is, where it transforms. Yes, it's a blob, but that's the beauty of it. It's
Mhm,
so simple that it could become whatever it wants to be. Just like
mhm,
you, viewer. You're, I'm not saying you're simple, but I'm saying that you can
mhm.
be whoever you want to be.
Just
Just like
like Barbie.
I wanted to be a teacher, and now I'm teaching. Look at Jake. Just look at Jake. He's laughing. He's living his best life here. You
I
can be
guess so.
who you want to be, and that is what Ditto is at heart. Ditto isn't just, oh, yeah, we can use him so that we can fight fire with fire. No, he is a Pokemon that is, you can be who you want to be.
Hmm.
If you want to change the world, you can change the world. To
Yeah.
quote Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, you take a look at yourself and make that change. Uh,
Yeah. Speaking of changing who you want to be though, Eevee. Eevee, I think it's an S tier.
AV is
Like,
definitely an S tier.
yeah. And I will make the case that I like Eevee better than Pikachu.
Me too. I would go so far as to say Eevee should be the mascot for Pokemon.
There's an argument for that. But as it stands though, like
Hmm.
the fact that early on they were able to make their first branching evolution, tied to like the evolutionary stones. And we didn't talk about this, but like some of these Pokemon evolved through stones, like Poliwhirl is one, uh, Gloom is one, Growlithe is one. Those are just some examples. Um, but Eevee is just one of those Pokemon where it's just like it's a good, simple baseline design, and I
Hmm.
like how every evolution they come up with, no matter the type, still has that simplistic cat-like design tied to that specific element. Um,
Cat? Did you say
or Fox, it kind of acts like a cat.
acts like a cat, but I'd consider it more a dog than a cat.
I guess there is an argument for it, but yeah, but whatever it is, Eevee is just a cute little guy,
Hmm.
and the fact that like it's strong enough to stand on its own
Hmm.
without evolving,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty worthy of S.
Hmm.
The evolutions though, uh I personally love Vaporeon.
Uh-huh.
I love it's like a little Leviathan type creature, you
Hmm.
know? Um, I love the fish-like features, but it still's got the cute face along with the fins. I say either A or S because much like Gyarados, this is another one of my favorite water types to
I,
use.
I will go with S.
Hmm.
I will go with S. I mean, I agree with the designs, but also for me, if I'm fighting in Pokemon Go with a water type Pokemon, yes, Gyarados is the first choice, but I prefer Vaporeon for fighting in Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Jolteon though. I think Jolteon gets an A. I love,
I will agree with Jolteon getting an A.
yeah, I love the spikes that it has.
Hmm.
Hmm. Flareon, I used to not care for Flareon. I've gone some sympathy for it now. It's a very tame fire design.
It is so t it to me it looks like you took an Eevee, gave it a little extra fur, and painted it red. There could have been so much more you could have done with the
Are you
fight.
thinking B?
I am thinking B. Are you thinking B?
Yeah,
All right. So B tier, and then we're gonna have to make one more meeting to finish our last 15 Pokemon.
man.
I feel like we took a long time making arguments for Gyarados and Ditto.
Yeah.
It was worth it. They got to where they needed to be.
Mhm.
All right. So,
Be right back.
yep, be right back for one last time for today. All right. This should be our last meeting. We've only got 15 more Pokemon left, so let's get this done.
Okay. Porygon. I like Porygon.
I do
I
like
like how
Porygon
you,
Stone.
yeah, I like how you could get it at the game corner as a
Mm,
prize. Um, but it's a cute, odd looking thing of a Pokemon. It's a shame that him and his evolutionary lines will never get any more anime episodes because of the you know what.
mm, yeah,
That can actually be its own future episode.
I
So
could.
talking about banned anime episodes or banned Pokemon stuff in general. But discarding that, Porygon, I think should get an A.
I like the A tier for that.
Mhm.
I feel like there could have been a little more to bring it to S tier, but I love how it's your general three-dimensional Pokemon. I
Mhm.
like how clunky it is. I like how it sort of resembles how like old three-dimension games used to.
Yeah, yeah, like Nintendo 64 and PlayStation era games.
Exactly.
Hmm. All right. Now we're getting to the fossils.
Yes. Those
Oh,
so old that their social security numbers are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Respectfully.
yeah. Ammonite and Amistar though. Um, Ammonite is pretty cute.
Ammonite's
I,
cute. I
I
feel
like
like
the
a lot
yellow.
more could have been put into Ammonite.
I think B.
Yeah.
I think
Like I
B
said,
for
it's
Ammonite.
cute.
Fossil Pokemon have always been kind of all right to me. Well, I guess we'll see when we get to other generations. But the Gen 1 ones, they're all right. Omnistar, I like the added tendrils. It is
Mm-hmm.
looking kind of freaky. I like the spikes on its shell.
Mm-hmm.
I say either B or A.
I I'm fine with either one as well. It's a good enough change where you could tell it's an evolution. The changes are all cool looking. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know, it's like on that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? More B or A?
I say B.
B. Okay. All right. I'm fine with that.
All right. Kabuto and Kabutops. Kabuto is kind of cute, cool
Kabuto
looking.
for Kabuto is cute.
Yeah, I like the little red eyes that it has under its shell. I say B
I
for
like it.
Kabuto.
I
Yeah.
like it.
And Kabutops, I think it's an A. Um,
Yeah.
it has a similar design approach to like Scyther because it's got the huge scythes on them.
Hmm. I will agree with that. I for me, it's for me, I kind of think about it as if I were thinking of Sizer and Pincer because you've got the claws, and it's a
Mhm.
really cool design, but it's not like I would say it's not as iconic.
No, of course, it's not as iconic. It also doesn't help that with all these fossil Pokemons and even some of the other ones from Gens, they all have to have the rock typing tied to them.
Hmm.
And I'm fine with that early on, but it just started getting old after a while because it's like the rock typing is fine, but it's not the best type to use in
No.
every scenario.
Mm.
Um, Aerodactyl. I mean, it is just a pterodactyl. It is kind of cool looking.
Hmm.
Kind of strange still that it kind of looks like a dragon and yet it still doesn't get the dragon typing.
But you see, they explain it. This is a pterodactyl. Pterodactyls are not dragons. Pterodactyls are dinosaurs.
This is the world of Pokemon. And like dragons are still like reptilian creatures and dinosaurs are also reptilian creatures. So,
This one specifies it's a dinosaur. Come on, you gotta think about it. It's a flying dinosaur, not a flying dragon. It
what
does
are you
that
thinking
tongue
for
thing.
what are you thinking for Aerodactyl?
I want to put Aerodactyl at A tier. I like the purple. Like I like the hues of purple. I like the
Yeah.
its tail's pointed as if it were, like the devil. And out of all the fossil Pokemon, like yes, I get it. The first two are like actual fossils. I like the fact that this one's a dinosaur.
Hmm.
So I would like to put this in A tier.
I'm fine with A for Aerodactyl.
Hmm. Not P, or not for P for pterodactyl.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyways, Aerodactyl's all right.
Hmm.
I think it's fine. I didn't talk about this in our last episode, but like I would like to make an argument for Pikachu wanting A tier, and that is the fact that like in Gen 1, the old design for Pikachu is just like kind of chubby. And
So
and it
if
and
we
it
still had that design, yes. But because it's this design, I want to keep it at B.
yeah, but I say that because Snorlax is my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. Like,
Hmm.
and I know, and I'll let you explain like why you like the Pokemon, but for me, like, I just like how this sleeping Pokemon is just so strong, and the fact that you could catch it like two different times in like the Gen 1 games. The fact that like this is the original blocking your route Pokemon in such a clever fashion too. But besides that, it's just a hungry guy that just likes to sleep. He's just a very chill guy, and yet he's the absolute tank in the party. Like really great defensive Pokemon, but also can hit back pretty hard. And I actually the design of the Pokemon I've learned is actually mimicked after one of the developers of Pokemon, one of the people from like Game Freak.
Really? I'm sitting here
Yes.
like it's just a big teddy bear. It wants a hug. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. It's
And
that.
I love the closed eyes too.
Yeah.
You ever seen the open eyes Snorlax from like Pokemon Stadium?
Nope. I have
Kind
not.
of freaky looking.
Mm.
I like Snorlax with his closed eyes.
No. I I like the design for this. I like the color dynamics. I like the fact that it looks huggable. It's like if Baymax was a Pokemon. There there doesn't really seem to be too much wrong with the design. It it's basic, but it's not too basic. And I
Mm-hmm.
love how as the games progress, Snorlax slowly goes from lying on its back to standing up. Like you see the struggle with it. D tier.
You said D?
I did that specifically for your reaction
Yeah.
because I
I
know this
think
is
it's
your favorite Pokemon,
I think
at
it's
least in
S.
this generation.
Yes. I think it's S though. Like
Yes, this is definitely an S tier.
to
Like all
me,
of aside,
this
this
is
is an
the
S.
Pokemon, one of those Pokemon that defines Gen 1 for me.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, again, it's one of those Pokemon. As you go through the games, it shows its evolution. You know,
mhm.
even if it doesn't actually evolve, it
Yeah.
stands up, and that's what's great about it.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for Snorlax to get an evolution though, because it's already pretty strong.
Hmm.
It does get a pre-evolution in Gen 4, but like that's about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Um,
when we get there.
mhm. The legendary birds. So I usually don't think about the legendary birds all too much. I'm not saying that there aren't like good aspects to them. Out of all of them, I really like Articuno, you know,
Hmm.
because it looks the most majestic out of all of them. Like I like how each of them are flying and are specified by a single type. For Articuno, it's flying and ice. It's a
Hmm.
majestic looking bird. I like the blue color on it. I like the tail feather on the back of it. I think it gets an A.
I will agree with the name. I
Hmm.
don't know. The legendary birds for me are like they're okay. They could
Yeah.
have done so much more with them. But I do agree with Articuno getting an A tier.
Yeah. Zapdos's design has always conflicted me because it takes a similar approach to Jolteon where it's just like, oh, it's got spikes on it. Uh, but whereas Jolteon still has the cute design and has the spikes typed on for it, Zapdos is all spikes. Or as someone used to put it once when describing Zapdos, it's like you made like a kid took like scissors and just cut spikes all over it. You know, looks like a paper arts and crafts type of deal.
Dude, the bird got electrocuted. That's why it's Nike.
Yes, I understand that. How do you feel about putting it at B?
I'm fine with putting it at B. Like I said, I feel like there could have been a lot more with the designs. I feel like out of the three designs, this one, no, I don't know. I was gonna say out of the three designs, this one most closely resembles the typing.
Hmm.
You got the next one, and the
Yeah. Moltres is another one that conflicts me. So I like the lore and the fact that like it's fired is like very sacred to the
mm,
region. Even in the anime, its fire is used to light the fire for like the Pokemon League, which I think is kind of cool.
hmm
But I'm not gonna lie and say that it looks like a rubber chicken that is caught on fire.
hmm Well, so as someone who watches a lot of movies and consumes other sorts of
Mhm.
media, there have been so many better ways to represent fire wings.
Mhm.
Like off the top of my head, I can think of that Borderlands movie that came out last year. Spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. Jake, have you seen it?
No, but I don't mind if you spoil it.
You know, like, okay, so basically, at the end, one of the characters ends up getting these fire wings, and they are really cool fire wings. They're like
Mm-hmm.
well, not necessarily multicolored, but they're multi-hued to like reddish orange,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks majestic.
Yeah.
With
I also,
going what's going on with Moltres, it's like it's the same thing I have with the Human Torch. I love the Human Torch. He is one of my favorite Fantastic Four characters. I just you set him on fire. That's the
mm-hmm.
same with Moltres. You set him on
Yeah, they could have done the concept of a phoenix so much better, but I think they capture it better a little bit in the next generation. But as it stands, I say either B or C for Moltres.
I'm fine with I'm fine with C tier.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just the legendary birds could have been so much better. Like Articuno here is the best looking one, and Articuno to me is like the one that doesn't even look anything close to what the typing is. You got blue, but that could be ice, that could be water. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now we're getting to the line that I know you have opinions about, as you've expressed in the past.
Hmm.
Um, the Dragonite line. So starting off with Dratini. I really like Dratini. I mean, it's basic, but it's kind of cute. You know, I'm willing to give it like a B tier.
I'll agree. I'll agree with the B tier.
Hmm. Also, just putting this out now, like, why was this the only line that was dragon type? And why did Lance have to rock like three of them in a row? Like, he had three Dragonites on his team.
Because Lance was cool. Only cool people have a team.
Lance,
A bunch of
and
dragons.
yet Lance defines the dragon type trainer, and yet he uses all flying types on his team. He should have been called Bird Keeper Lance.
Yeah, well, since you told me that, Lance needs to be educated. There's a solid difference between a bird and a dragon.
Yeah. All right. Dragonair. I think Dragonair gets an A because like it takes that slender design of Dratini and it looks kind of cool looking.
I'll agree with that. I like how there's a little addition to the tail. I like how the color changes.
Hmm.
You know, I'd be
Yeah.
fine with that.
I also like how you can fish for these Pokemon, which makes me wonder why these weren't water dragon types.
I don't know.
Yeah. Also, you can fish for Dragonite too. Even at a lower level too, although it is a rare encounter in
Hmm.
most cases. Speaking of Dragonite, though, so express your opinions of Dragonite first, because I think we might be torn on this one.
Okay, so remember that argument I made with Magikarp and Gyarados?
Hmm.
That argument goes out the window with Dragonite. How can you get an orange dragon that stands up, has four limbs and a tail, and honestly kind of looks like it looks like a full dragon? How does that come from something that looks more like a sea serpent with no hands, isn't even close to the orange color. In fact, is the polar opposite of that color. Doesn't even have wings unless you count the ears. Like there is nothing. At least Golem had rocks. That's where it connects to Graveler and Geodude. Dragonite doesn't have anything to connect to Dragonair or Dratini. I don't understand why this is an evolution to those Pokemon. This is a solid D tier for me, and I will fight everyone on that.
Okay. I would probably agree with you at the time because I found the drastic shift to be interesting because like this was the very first pseudo-legendary Pokemon, which means they're pretty strong and are set to a base stat total of 600, but they're not as strong as a legendary Pokemon. Um, and I've always felt like that Dragonite was kind of strange compared to other pseudos that we would get afterwards. Throughout the years, though, and I hear other people's opinions of Dragonite, I started to turn around on it a little bit. I do think it's a drastic design, and I'm not sure if it would be one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. Because, like, I like how this Barney looking Dragonite, you know, is somehow one of the strongest Pokemon that you can catch, and that you have to work for that. Again, it's like an extreme version of like Magikarp evolving into Gyarados. I still like Gyarados more, but like getting to Dragonite, getting to that level of like where Lance was at, like Lance, like I think one of the reasons he would be considered like a Dragon Master is because he was able to raise 3 Dragonite, have the time to raise 3 Dragonite just so that way he can screw you over.
Mm.
Like, and the fact that it gets like strong hitting moves too, because Dragon type moves weren't that strong in Gen 1, but like it can learn Thunder Punch, it can learn Hyper Beam. Like this Pokemon can decimate you, and yet it's got that cute look. I love Pokemon that are cute looking and yet are super strong. A Goodra is one of those examples of a cute looking Pokemon that just is somehow strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give it B because I don't hate the design. I get the fact that like it's a drastic change,
That is true.
but
Just
like
I
I just don't see it in the same tier as like all the other guys.
that's fair. I will adhere to D, put it at D. But I still think when you factor in the Pokemon it comes from,
Mm-hmm.
there's absolutely nothing. You know, it's like saying, you know, it's like if Pikachu suddenly evolved into Alakazam.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, because you could still see that. It'd be like if Squirtle evolved into Venusaur. All right. All right, so now we are on our last two.
Yeah, the two strongest Pokemon from those games at the time, and the two mysterious ones too.
Mhm,
So Mewtwo, the fact that like it's like a Mew clone, but not entirely, and
mhm,
yet it's still super strong. And the fact that it gets so much lore behind it in the games, in all
mhm.
types of different media.
Well, I mean,
Um,
it's because Mewtwo's technically the final boss of Pokemon.
yeah, yeah, that is true. It was one of the original final bosses of Pokemon. Um, I mean, assuming you didn't get the Master Ball.
Oh, I gave mine to a Rattata.
Yeah, but you if you didn't bring a Master Ball with you, you know, you got very grueling battle ahead of you. But
Mhm,
like, I love the lore that it gets though in so many of the different types of media. Um, and just saying this now, I prefer Mewtwo over Mew because of that. I used to like Mew over Mewtwo, but
mhm,
I think Mewtwo just has like so much mystery behind it, even though we know like how it's created.
mhm,
Um, and yet it still has like it's still trying to figure out who it is though, because all we know it's the only one of its kind.
mhm. Yep.
So because of that and the fact that like it's a very powerful design, I say either A or S.
I like S tier for Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
There's Pokemon that have, like, we have Pokemon that have like very simple designs that don't really show the power. This one has it design wise, it is a little more on the simple side, but it is a drastic simple. Like it's drastic with its simple design. It's
And
drastic
it's kind of,
that whole or shows the power.
yeah, and it's kind of scary in the first movie too,
Hmm.
where it's just like, I want to eliminate society because they treat Pokemon badly.
Hmm.
Um, and that other Pokemon don't agree with me, so that everyone dies.
Yeah.
Mew, I think Mew either gets A or B because like it's just a cute little guy.
I want
And
to put
plus
you
it
on.
has because like it has its own mystery tacked onto it in the games because technically you can't catch it without doing a glitch in the game. You know, the Mew under the truck theory
Hmm.
type thing. That was the way of catching Mew without some type of distribution. But it can learn any move. It was probably the one Pokemon where it can learn any move from the games because I believe it's considered the DNA Pokemon. And the fact that like it was one of the last of its species, you
Hmm.
know, in terms of nature. And have you seen Mew in the Mewtwo movie? Like
Yes.
it's just a fun little guy.
Yeah. And then I want to bring up Pokemon Go again because that's
Hmm.
at this point that's my main exposure to Pokemon. When
Hmm.
you catch Mew in Mewtwo, or well, Mew, when you catch Mew in Pokemon Go, you're not necessarily like it's not just Mew's design, it's Mew's invisible when you're
Hmm.
catching Mew. And I think something like that is pretty cool.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I would like to put Mew at A.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
All
Give me
right.
the attention. All right, we caught 151 Pokemon, and it was a very long and grueling process, but hey, we did it.
Yep. And then in the future, we've decided that when we are doing tier lists like these, we will have
Hmm.
these as longer specials because I think
Hmm.
this episode is hitting over 2 hours.
Yeah,
And then in the future, I'm going to combine last episode with this episode and a little bit of a compilation. That way, we have the full tier list together, showing
hmm,
our full ideas on this.
yeah.
But
Um, but we will continue to do future Pokemon tier lists.
mhm,
We plan on spreading these out in between,
we do.
because like as it stands, it takes a long process.
Yep.
But
Not
I
only
like
that, but
I
we're
like.
also thinking about making tier lists for some other things as well.
Mhm.
But I do feel like we get to those after we get through a couple more Pokemon tier lists.
Sure. Um, the next time we do come back to Pokemon, we be hitting with Gen 2, which doesn't have as large of a dex as Gen 1, but I'm sure we have some opinions on those. Overall, I like this tier.
Yep.
I'm okay with this.
I'm quickly taking a screenshot of this because there's a section on this website that says view community rank.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna take a quick screenshot of this, and I kind of want to look at the community rank since we have
Yeah,
a little bit of time left.
yeah. I don't take a look at community rankings that often, but like um
I mean, like I said, I
yeah,
figured.
but that tier that we just did, it kind of defines Gen 1 for me.
All right, so here's one of them, and I'll probably just stick
Who
with
put Metapod a D tier? First of all,
who
like,
put Graveler on D tier.
man, y'all are mean. Um, and who put Kadabra on C tier? Like,
Who put Z- look at S tier. Like, there's a lot of similarities.
yeah. Why isn't Eevee on S tier? I think Eevee deserves S tier more than Jolteon.
Honestly, a lot of the Pokemon that are on S tier or A tier deserve to be on S tier.
And I don't think Blastoise is an S tier Pokemon. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's not.
Like, I don't think so. Um, and I mean, some of these do make sense. Like I think Snorlax and Charizard get S tier. So does Arcanine. I don't think Ninetales though. That
No.
just doesn't sit right with me. Nidoking, I understand. Dragonite, I make an argument, but I also understand. Same with Pikachu.
Hmm.
Mew and Mewtwo, self-explanatory. Why is Zapdos S tier though? I just don't understand it.
All right.
But
All right. Let's look at one more.
one more community ranking,
Yep.
just to see how triggered we get.
All right. So, oh wait, hold on. Oh, those are like different tier lists.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, all
Um,
right, never mind. We'll just look at this one.
yeah, it's
It
man.
it is drastically different. Yeah, it's drastically different from what we have.
I guess they take overall tiers into consideration, but like,
Yeah, but
yeah, to me this feels a bit more balanced. To me, this defines Gen 1 for me because like I didn't want to be too mean to this gen because like, this was their first time doing something like this. And it was ambitious at the time, you know, trying to catch as many monsters as you can in order to build a team or to complete the decks,
right.
challenge the league.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I this defines Gen 1 for me. And like I'm fine with D tier being as small as it is because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means the more that we get into these CD gens, the way more critical I'm gonna be. So I'm gonna be mean.
Yep. So will
That's
I.
all.
So
Hmm.
will I. In our future tier lists, if Snorlax comes back up, Snorlax is D tier. I'm kidding with that one. I actually like Snorlax. Um,
Yeah.
but
Snorlax is the goat.
yep. But with that, I'd say this is a great stopping point. Again, because this is a longer episode, Jake and I have agreed that the next two episodes, we're going to try to keep them shorter with like small topics.
Yeah.
So we
In
can
fact,
hit.
I already have a topic for next week that I would like to talk about.
You already have a short topic for next week?
Mhm.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan. All right, and I just got the 10-minute warning. So, yeah, we've been recording because this goes by 40 minutes. I've been pretty
We
much stopping at
record we
35.
recorded we recorded for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Almost.
actually a little more because we started recording a little before 10 and it's right now 12:30. So,
Yeah. Already.
all right, well, but with that, I'm Xavier Dean.
And I'm Jacob Green.
And again, sorry for keeping you in suspense for so long. If it makes you feel any better, we were in more suspense. You guys got 1 week. We had 2 weeks difference. But with that, we will see you next week with a brand new, shorter episode. And after those two, we'll go back to our normal 1 hour-ish episodes.
Mhm.
But have a wonderful day, stay safe, and remember, we are a safe space. I know the world's not where we want it to be. I know there's a lot of things going on. I know we're not necessarily going to talk about them in detail, but we are a safe space.
Mhm.
We're here to have fun.
And And please take part in healthy discussion environments
Exactly.
because
Please.
we need a lot more of that.
Exactly. Like if you notice, Jake and I didn't really agree on a lot. We
Yeah,
actually did.
like
We didn't agree on some things, and we were able to work through it.
mhm,
Yep. Oh, also, just remember, Dragonite should not be part of the Dragonair and Dragon or Dratini line to drastically change.
mhm,
With that, have a wonderful day. Be true to who you are. Come back if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or stressed. Again, we'll try to keep it fun. And I think that's it. Have a good day.